No, wait. He's alive.
Oh, good. Cancel the hymn.
No!
The Simpsons has finished, fully animated, fully voiced scenes that were buried before you ever saw them. Some were too dark, some too honest, and one was pulled because it came true. Here's every deleted scene that actually matters, and why they were cut.
He was taking a bite and his jaw locked.
Hey, look, I can fit my entire fist in here.
Before we get into the scenes, you need to understand something most fans don't. The Simpsons doesn't cut scenes because they're weak. Every episode is written long, on purpose. The writers build in more material than they need, so editors have room to shape the pacing. By the time an episode airs, 4 to 6 minutes of finished content has already been removed. 4 to 6 minutes. Every episode. For 35 years. That's not trimming. That's an entire archive of material nobody has seen. Most of it disappears completely. Some ends up on DVD commentaries. A rare few clips have leaked through interviews, fan panel recordings, or cast appearances where someone mentions a scene that just never made it. The ones we're talking about today weren't cut for time. These are the scenes where something else was happening.
He was taking a bite and his jaw locked.
Hey, look, I can fit my...
The first one involves a version of Bart Simpson most fans have never seen, and once you know it existed, the scene that replaced it hits completely differently. Season 4, Homer's Triple Bypass. Homer finds out he needs open-heart surgery, and he can't afford it. The episode eventually becomes one of the most emotionally resonant in the show's history. But the version that aired isn't the version they wrote first. In the original script, there's an extended goodbye scene. Homer says goodbye to each kid individually. What made it into the final episode is warm, funny in places. You know the tone. What was cut was Bart's version of that goodbye. In the deleted scene, Bart doesn't make a joke. He doesn't deflect. He breaks completely. He tells Homer he's the only person in his life who never expected him to be something he wasn't. The read-through was apparently so emotional that several writers got uncomfortable. They loved it, and they cut it anyway. The reasoning, and this comes directly from a DVD commentary, was that the scene pushed the show past comedy into something that felt like a different program entirely. The Simpsons is funny first. That was always the rule, so that version of Bart got pulled, and what you see instead is a quick hug and a joke. But now you know what was supposed to be there. That deleted moment is one of the most human things ever written for the character. It just never aired.
Marge, my whole life flashed before my eyes. Ah, little Homer.
The next one is Stranger, because the evidence that it existed is still sitting inside an episode you've already seen. You just didn't know what you were looking at. Lisa Simpson is the character the writers wrestled with most. She's the moral center of the show, the one who notices everything, and that's exactly what made her dangerous to write. In a deleted scene from the mid-90s, Lisa confronts Marge about money, not in a vague, childlike way, in a specific adult way. She lists things she's overheard. She references bills by name. She mentions a number she saw on a bank statement she wasn't supposed to find. She asks Marge directly why they pretend everything is fine. Marge's response in the deleted version is silence. Not the kind of silence that gets resolved in the next line, just silence. And then she changes the subject. The writers cut it because they felt it made Marge look like a bad parent, and that was never the intent. The scene was meant to be about Lisa, not about Marge failing. But here's the part that nobody talks about. Go back and watch the episode this scene was cut from. About 12 minutes in, there's a moment at the dinner table where Marge looks at Lisa with an expression that doesn't belong in the scene around it. It's too weighted, too knowing. That expression was recorded for the deleted version. It made the final cut by accident. Nobody flagged it. Nobody removed it. It just stayed. That look has been sitting inside a finished, aired episode for 30 years. Most people who've seen it a dozen times have never noticed it doesn't fit.
Well, we can't fix his heart, but we can tell you exactly how damaged it is.
What an age we live in.
This one is documented. It's been referenced in interviews. But the full picture is something most fans still don't have. The episode, The City of New York versus Homer Simpson, where Homer finally goes back to Manhattan after years of avoiding it, originally aired in 1997. The World Trade Center appears in it as a location, as a backdrop, as part of the comedy. After September 11th, Fox pulled the episode from syndication entirely. That part people know. What most people people don't know is that when the episode eventually came back to air, years later, it wasn't the same episode. There were additional scenes built around the towers, a full sight gag set on the observation deck, background sequences where the towers are referenced by characters, not just visible in the frame. All of it was quietly removed. The showrunners never made a public statement about those specific cuts. They just weren't there anymore, and a version of the episode circulates in fan communities, recorded from original broadcast, that still has the original framing, the towers in the background across multiple scenes, the dialogue intact. Two versions of the same episode. One the world saw once in 1997, one that's been playing in syndication ever since. They're not the same show.
Now, what you see here is the radioactive dye we injected flowing through your husband's circulatory system.
But this isn't the most unsettling deleted scene on this list. The next one was cut for pacing, and nobody noticed what was in the background until years later. The Simpsons and predictions. It's a topic that fills up comment sections and gets shared every time something coincidental happens. Most of them are pattern matching. The show ran 700 episodes across 35 years. Eventually, something lines up. But there's a specific deleted scene from the late 90s that's different from the usual list because it was never broadcast. It never aired. The scene involves Homer flipping through a news channel. Standard background gag. In the background, a news ticker scrolls across the bottom of the screen, listing a series of fictional corporate headlines. One of them references a media merger. The scene was cut before broadcast for pacing reasons. Nobody flagged the ticker. Nobody was looking at the ticker. The scene circulated years later through a fan recording or a production leak. The origin isn't entirely clear, and people started pausing it, frame by frame. The merger listed in the ticker matched a real acquisition that happened in the mid-2000s, closely enough that when a writer encountered the clip at a fan event, he went quiet mid-conversation. He said later that the scene had been cut purely for pacing. Nobody put that merger in the ticker on purpose. Nobody was thinking about it. The writers won't say whether it's a genuine coincidence or something stranger. What they have confirmed is this: the scene has never been restored. It's never appeared on any DVD release. It's not on any official platform. It exists in the gaps, in copies of copies, just like most of the scenes on this list.
This procedure will cost you upwards of $30,000.
Here's the thing all of these scenes share. They weren't cut because they failed. Every single one of them was cut because it worked. The Bart scene was too emotionally true. The Lisa scene made a parent look too human. The New York sequences became too painful to keep. And the prediction scene became too strange to explain. The Simpsons has always been a show that walks right up to the edge of something real, and then steps back just far enough to keep the room comfortable. These deleted scenes are the moments they didn't step back, and knowing they exist changes the show, because it means every episode you've ever watched was a decision. Not just what to put in, but what to take out. The Simpsons you grew up with is a curated version of something larger. Somewhere, there's a rougher cut, a stranger, more honest version of the same show, and we've only ever seen the edges of it. So here's what I want from you. Is there a scene, a moment, a line, even just a look between characters that always felt like something was missing around it? Drop it in the comments, because some of those instincts are more accurate than you know. If this got under your skin, the next video is our full breakdown of every Simpsons episode that got banned, including one that Fox has never officially acknowledged exists. It connects directly to everything we just covered about the New York episode. It's right there. Watch it next.
Don't you have health insurance at work?
Well, actually, we gave it all up for a pinball machine in the lounge.
Oh.